What comes to mind when you think of Philadelphia? The legendary Pat Stakes, the tradition of the Mummers, Philly's own home sports teams, the Eagles and the Phillies, or maybe Ben Franklin.
There's not a lot of cities in the world that have sort of idiosyncratic things that are just theirs. And Philly is great at like celebrating those things, and I think that's what makes it a special place.
Electric Factory Concerts has paved the way for music and entertainment in Philadelphia. It was founded in 1967 by Larry Magid and Alan Spivak.
The Electric Factory started in 1967. Larry Magid and Alan Spivak and Herbie Spivak, who were brothers, founded the Electric Factory Rock Club. There was a sort of burgeoning rock scene in America, and there weren't places for bands to play. And there was a few venues, sort of psychedelic ballrooms they were called, the Fillmore in San Francisco, the Fillmore East in New York, the Tea Party in Boston, and the Electric Factory in Philadelphia. And they were very much pioneers. They were just young people who liked music and saw this opportunity to present this music, not only to sort of present this music, but to present it in a way that was comfortable for kids.
From the beginning, Electric Factory Concerts has given up-and-coming performers a place to play.
Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, the Allman Brothers, The Who, basically every big superstar of that era came over and played the Electric Factory. You don't get any bigger than that.
In 1970, the Electric Factory closed down.
In the late 60s, there was a lot of pressure from the establishment. They were sort of constantly at odds with the mayor at the time. Even when it was closing, I think they were still questioning themselves as to whether or not it was a good idea, because they had so much sort of pushback from the city, and they would come and sort of, they would feel like they were being harassed, and they also felt like they had sort of outgrown it.
However, Mr. Spivak and Mr. Magid decided to reopen the club in 1995. It instantly became a smash success, a second time around.
Larry's always felt like it was really important to be on the ground level with bands, to promote bands when they're sort of coming up, so that we can have a relationship with them. And he felt like that the people of Philadelphia would be really excited. There wasn't a club like that in Philadelphia, and we got the right space for it, and he just kind of felt like the time was right to resurrect it, and he did, and it's been really successful.
From there, the Electric Factory had evolved into what we know of it today, and it is still growing to be one of Philadelphia's hottest venues for all genres of music. Yet there is so much behind the scenes that occur in order to make it just that.
What happens is a band decides they want to go out on tour. They have usually management, record company, and a booking agent. And the management probably is working with them on putting out their newest record and setting up, deciding if they want to tour and what kind of tour they want to do. And then they go to their booking agent, who is sort of their expert in live music, and that's the person that we interface with.
From there, the booking agents coordinate with the scheduling staff at the Electric Factory Concerts. Once the show date is confirmed, ticket prices are negotiated.
And then once the date is confirmed, once they agree on the money and they agree on the time and they agree on everything like that, then the show is confirmed. Then it comes down to the marketing department, and then we get to decide when do we want to announce it, when do we want to put it on sale, what's going on in the marketplace that we think would be a good time to put the show on sale and do all that kind of stuff.
It is the job of the marketing department to advertise the particular concert and get the word out on the street that a particular band is coming to the Electric Factory.
The show is going to be, hugely successful. If Dave Matthews wants to play the Factory, well, that can be on Monday night too. It doesn't matter, But if a band that maybe isn't going to sell as well, we really try and get it on a Friday or Saturday, because you sort of try and get their core audience, and then maybe there's like 20% of the people who are just, I just want something to do, and it's Friday night, and I'll go check out this band because I heard their song on the radio, kind of thing. They tend to not do that on Tuesday night.
Electric Factory Concerts and Clear Channel Entertainment rely heavily on street teams.
Very big into grassroots promoting. We always have been. We always have street teams that hand out flyers. We have different kinds of street teams for different kinds of shows. We have a street team that does hip-hop shows. We have a street team that does our punk shows. We have a street team that does our more sort of urban type shows. And then, that's sort of the start. That's how we kind of start getting it to the we kind of try and get that core audience and let them know first. And then we buy advertising on radio stations, sometimes on TV, newspapers, weeklies, city papers.
Shows are spread out amongst the week to appeal to all viewers and to entice new ones. The Electric Factory has grown so much over the years and have had to change their appearance since first reopening.
We just recently added a balcony in the back And we didn't increase the capacity in the room at all. We just added a balcony, so it's just different places for people to go. So it's not like we crammed more people in there. We're always sort of painting, doing different things in there, and I think right now we're probably done in the Electric Factory itself in terms of the actual structure.
Times are changing, and the Electric Factory tries to stay up and coming and fresh in order to appeal to all audiences.
We've been in business for a really long time. We've been in Philadelphia promoting shows for 35 years, and a lot of people can't make that claim. But I also don't think we're not an old, codgy place. There's a lot of young people running around, and I think Larry, who runs it, recognizes the importance of having a lot of young people and being at the forefront, and he realizes that he's been doing it for 35 years and he might not know the newest, youngest bands. So he has a lot of people who work for him who do, and who constantly are really abreast of the latest talent and what's happening. So I think that you want to work with a company that has both the tenure and both the passion for like the newest stuff, and who also, we really take a lot of pride in treating bands well.
After 36 years, the Electric Factory is still one of Philadelphia's hottest music venues and will continue to support the beginning of smaller bands while nurturing established bands. The Electric Factory will never stop bringing quality music to the Philadelphia area.
The Liberty Steam Fire Company is located on Main Street in Spring City, Pennsylvania. This historic company was established in 1882 and has been serving the public ever since. Roger Smith, who is presently the Assistant Fire Chief, Vice President, and a trustee of the department, tells us more.
There was a large fire right across the street from where the firehouse sits now. It was an old stove company, and I guess it was the biggest company in the area for giving people work, and it burnt down, and we didn't have a fire department, and they had to bring fire equipment in from Norristown and even Philadelphia. They run a special train down here, but the place burnt to the ground, and the people in the town just decided that they needed to get a fire department, and they started, and that's where we managed to get the first steamer that we still have.
Presently, the chief of the fire company is John Trego Sr. His grandfather, Ralph Trego Jr., was the first fire chief. He recalls many memories, some good and some bad.
I guess it started with my grandfather. And as you look at our list of members, most of this is family-oriented. Started with my grandfather, which in turn my father became a member. He was chief for, I think, 10 years in the 70s. From my dad, it went myself and my brother. And now my son is also a member. I've been involved in the emergency services, not just here, since about 1972. I've been a member of this company since 1978, somewhere around 24 years probably.
Liberty Fire Company also has an arsenal of tools and trucks to keep buildings and people safe from the unforgiving ways of fire.
Well, we have the 85-foot tower, which is a ladder truck with a bucket, but it does have a pump on it, but it's mainly for fighting the overhead fire, a rescue from the buildings. We have an engine, 63-1. That's a 1,000-gallon per minute pumper, basically for your main fire service and our rescue truck. And then we have an engine 63-5, which is a 1999 pumper tanker.
Liberty Fire Company is a volunteer establishment. The firefighters who serve in this company, like all others, are very brave and take what they do very seriously. The company also has junior firefighters for the younger generation of up-and-coming firefighters. We caught up with Cliff Amel, a junior firefighter.
Basically just help them with pulling hoses off the truck, opening hydrants, whatever else they need done. My nickname's Seahorn, and I don't really know how I got it, but they just started calling me that one night, so I just kept it.
We just decided we wanted some kind of a mascot, and I guess at the time the Taz was a pretty hot item, and everybody was kind of into the Taz, and we decided that that's what we were going to go with, and we designed our own Taz that we have, and we went through Warner Brothers and got permission back and forth to be allowed to use it. We had to draw it up. We had to get permission from them to use it in the design that it is, and we have the franchise of it now. Nobody else can use that, and Warner gave it to us.
As far as the fire side goes, I guess the most memorable would be the Counting House fire about 10 years ago. Probably the biggest call we ever seen in our history. There was probably close to 30, 40 companies at the actual fire.
The brave men at Liberty Fire Company will continue to show up at the scene of a fire with the shortest notice and risk their lives to save others. This concludes our visit. Please support your local fire company.
In a small town called Nottingham, there lies a building named the Hearst Factory. It all began when a 21-year-old named James Stauffer bought a small-town potato chip company in Lancaster.
Yes, hi, I'm Ed Herr, and my position at Herr Foods is Executive Vice President. Okay, what made the chip company start? Hers started in 1946 when my father was working on a chicken farm for his dad. And he wanted to do something else because he enjoyed being around people more than being around chickens. So he asked his father if he found another opportunity to work somewhere else, could he do that? And his dad said, sure, I'll help you as long as you're doing something that makes you happy. So he found this advertisement in the newspaper for a potato chip company that was for sale. It was called Verna's Potato Chip Company. And so it all started because my dad was the kind of person that enjoys being around people. And so he wanted to expand his circle of people. The number of employees at Hers is a little over 1,400, and the types of jobs vary. Probably the largest majority of our people, well, not probably, for sure, work in sales. We have 550 routes that are these trucks that you see on the road that are delivering product to the stores. So that's about a third of our people right there. And then, of course, we have to have support people that work in warehouses and delivering the product to them. And then we have 300 or 400 people that work in the manufacturing side of it. And then the rest of the people would, be in accounting, they would be in marketing, they would be in quality assurance, they would be in sanitation, they would be in, there's just a whole variety of jobs involved in that.
The potatoes are delivered by a big truck put on a platform and raised by a lever. The potatoes are then dropped onto a conveyor belt that takes the potatoes inside. Inside, the potatoes are washed, skinned, and peeled and made into different potato chips. The way the potato chips are made are by cutting them by a special machine and placed on a different conveyor belt. The thinly sliced potato chips go under a special light that takes pictures to see if the potato chips are good or bad. The bad ones are then shot onto a different conveyor belt to be thrown away. After they are done and hardened, the potato chips are then flavored. After they are packaged, they are put into the boxes and shipped to different places.
Per day, we make 833,000 bags of snacks. Out of that, 540,000 bags are potato chips. My name's Jennifer Arrigo. My title is Visitor Center Manager. The Visitor Center came about because we were given tours through the factory, and I was out telling everybody and their brother about our tour, and we had more and more people coming through. And our insurance company said, this is really risky, taking people into the factory. They could slip, they could put things into the food. So you either need to stop your tours, limit the amount that you take, or build a visitor center. And Mr. Herb proposed that to me. He asked me which one of those I would think we should do. I had to think about it. It took me 3 seconds to answer, build a visitor center. We did that in 1989. We have over 100,000 visitors a year that come through here and take a factory tour Monday through Thursday, and on Fridays just 9 to noon. We have a lot of special events too that's all come about because of our visitor center. Started working here, we used to take people through the factory. I was the tour guide that would take everyone through the factory, and they'd get to sample all the snacks right there. Well, I'd have to give them a hat to wear, and this is the hat that they would wear. People didn't want to put a hat on. They wanted to go through the factory without it, and we couldn't allow that. So I would pull out of my little white coat that I wore hairnets. And I'd say, well, you can wear a hairnet then. Well, then they'd be happy to put the hat on. They didn't want to wear a hairnet. Well, after we built our visitor center, then they didn't have to wear hats anymore because they would be behind glass. They'd still see all the snacks being made, but they would not be out in the factory anymore. Well, then they wanted the hats. They'd say, when I was here before, I had a hat to wear. Now we sell them their hats because they want to wear them.
I enjoy being in the family business, yes, very much so. It's fun to work with. We have, in our company, it's not this way in every family business, but in our company anyway, we have a very tight-knit family. So everyone gets along and enjoys working together. So that makes it fun. Now, I think if you had a lot of friction, like if you had people that didn't get along, it would make it completely different. But we happen to be lucky that way in that we were raised in an environment where we learned to work together, we learned to play together, and so we enjoy working with each other. So that makes it fun, yeah. Well, as you're going to see today, hers are manufactured for the most part right here in Nottingham. We do have a small plant in Ohio that makes about 5% of our product. But we are a mid-Atlantic marketing company, which means we're in 10 states in the mid-Atlantic region. And so I kind of like to describe it as a triangle. If you go from Connecticut, New York area, down the southern or the eastern seaboard, down to the bottom of Virginia, that's one part of the triangle. And then if you go from there out to the middle of Ohio and back, that's kind of our market region. So we manufacture all this product here, and then we ship it via tractor trailer to distribution centers scattered throughout that 10-state region. So what we have is we have this fleet of tractor trailers that's taking this manufactured product to 23 different distribution centers in that mid-Atlantic region. And then from there, it goes directly to the stores.
When I started here, we had one chip line, one pretzel line. We had a lot of Allied snacks that we don't make now. They were made by somebody else, and we started making them. So I've seen the company grow. We had 10 branches. We now have 23, and I think we've hired about 1,000 people since I've been here.
What makes her successful in the marketplace, I think, is number one, I would have to say, our people. I said earlier that we're a family business, and when you have a strong family business like we do, it makes for good relationships. So I think we have great relationships right down through our company. Managers that treat their people fairly, and we have an atmosphere here in this family business that enables people to thrive and be the best at what they can do, the best at what they do. So I think that gives us a competitive advantage. I think it helps us to have better quality products because our people enjoy doing what they're doing and they take pride in making the best possible products they can make. And I think it helps our salespeople to be the best they can be. We've been voted #1 in customer service for years. We exceed our competitors by large margins. And I think it's because of our people enjoy their work, they enjoy the atmosphere, they feel like they work for a company that takes care of them. And so I would say that people, and focusing on people's needs and caring for employees is what gives hers a competitive advantage in the marketplace.
Finding something that is educational yet fun at the same time is rare these days. The Crayola factory located in Easton, Pennsylvania provides both. Adults and children get a first-hand experience of how crayons are manufactured. In the beginning, Edward Binney and cousin C. Harold Smith began their partnership of Binney and Smith in Peekskill, New York. Early products included red oxide pigments for painting barns and black carbon for car tires. Little do people know there's a story behind the name Crayola. It was coined by Alice Binney, Edwin's wife, a school teacher. Alice took the French word for chalk, craie, and the French word ola, which means oily, to come up with Crayola, oily chalk. Binney and Smith created the first pencils in 1900. After developing slate pencils, Binney and Smith invented chalk. This was no ordinary chalk, it was dustless. Teachers loved it, and in 1902, Binney and Smith won a gold medal for their chalk at the St. Louis World Exposition. Crayola brand crayons were the first kit crayons ever made. The original crayons came in a box of 8. Colors included black, brown, blue, red, purple, orange, yellow, and green. To date, over 100 types of crayons exist. Not only does Crayola make crayons that are washable, they also have a line of sparkle and scented crayons. The crayon making process is rather simple. First, hot liquid wax is poured into a tray with 12,000 crayon-shaped molds. After cooling, the excess wax is scraped from the tray. The crayons are then poured out onto an inspection table and checked for broken points and irregular shapes. After inspection, the crayons are then placed into the labeling machine. Before the labeling machine came into use, several farm families put labels on the crayons. Every family had a specific color crayon to label. Cornstarch and water were used to put the labels on. Crayola needed a safe product just in case younger kids consumed the crayons. Cornstarch and a little bit of water did just the trick. Different from the first crayon ever made, Crayola uses wax instead of charcoal and oil. Crayola discovered using wax made the stick sturdier and much easier to handle. Last year marked the 100th birthday of Crayola. Within those 100 years, there have been many significant events in the Crayola life. Mr. Rogers made the 1 billionth crayon and had a 1 billionth sweater to go with it, which is displayed at the Crayola factory. Through the years, Crayola has named over 100 crayons. Some were named by kids and some by the manufacturer. Only 3 times in the history has Crayola changed the name of a crayon. Flesh was changed to peach, Indian red to chestnut, and Prussian blue was changed to midnight blue. Since opening, the Crayola factory has been visited by a score of people. Rick Nan, manager of marketing and public relations for Two Rivers Landing, has first-hand experience on the number of visitors to the Crayola factory.
We see about 365,000 people a year, and over 3 million people have come to visit the Crayola factory at Two Rivers Landing in the past 7 years.
Rick feels that everyone should experience the Crayola factory.
We have a lot of fun here every day. It's a great place to work, a great place to visit, and we invite everyone down here who hasn't been to visit the Crayola factory and National Canal Museum.
A fellow employee of the Crayola factory, Lamar J., feels the same way Rick does about visiting Crayola.
One thing I like about the job is the kids. I mean, they absolutely love the Crayola factory, and they're having so much fun. And they're learning so much information as well. I think everyone of all ages can enjoy the Crayola factory. Everybody just loves Crayola.
My name is Ronald Nichols. The lanes were originally built in 1959. They've had 3 renovations here, putting on 8 lanes at each time. The professional bowling tours here for years, back in the late 60s and the early 70s. They haven't had any here for a few years. I personally, myself, I saw Mr. Steve Cook, Mark Roth, and Earl Anthony here.
What is the house record?
Our current house record for a single three-game series is 863. We had one guy here that was bowling, and we like to have some fun around here. He threw his ball down the lane. When his ball went down to the ball return, we actually took his ball out and put a brand new ball in. The brand new ball did not have any holes in it for his fingers. When it came back up to him, he picks up the ball and he's standing there looking around at it, trying to figure what happened. The mechanic and myself were standing down back, laughing, of course. There was nobody in the house at that time. He picks up the ball, he's turning around, and he takes his hand and goes like this, and tries to put his hand on the ball. At that time, we start roaring. Of course, he could hear us by then.
We started coming to Limerick Bowl about 35 or 38 years ago with a couples league. We bowled the 3rd Saturday of every month. We were just young married couples, and we loved it. They were so nice to us here. We just loved it. Gradually, as people got older, we get newer young couples, different young couples. Then we joined the senior league, and when we first came, we had to keep our own score. Then they got computers. We don't have to keep our own score. Now they figure out our averages. Our handicap is done for us.
Right now we have, as we said, the 48 lanes of AMF, computerized scoring, the bumper bowling. We have 10 billiard tables, a redemption arcade. We've added on a sports bar and grill. That's a full-service sit-down kind of dining experience, and also a bowling and billiards pro shop.
They were all wood. Now they're basically synthetic.
Welcome to historic St. Peter's Village. The village is located in Warwick Township. First inhabited by the Lenni Lenape Indians, the land was taken over in the mid-1700s by the Nauer family. The population of the area in that time period was about 13,000 people. Its popularity began to grow during the Revolutionary War because of the need for workers in the mills and at the furnace. The furnace produced guns and cannons for Washington's army while they camped out in Valley Forge. Not only were people attracted to the area because of its working environments, people were attracted to its beauty as well. The land is overflowing with natural resources such as a large black granite quarry, iron ore, gold, silver, and copper mines. Not only did the black granite benefit this area, it was used to build the telephone and telegraph building in New York City, which still stands today. By the late 1800s, this village was thriving. It was the perfect time for an inn to be built. So at the end of the 19th century, Davis Nauer built a luxurious inn for people from all over the area to enjoy. People traveled to the area on both the Sow-Belly Railroad and the Boersback Railroad to visit the spas and enjoy the beautiful waterfalls. People preferred the Boersback Railroad to the Sow-Belly Railroad because of its smoother ride, and it had a better scenic route. Davis Nauer, the founder of the inn, built the inn because he wanted to add to the charm of the village. It soon became a popular place for the upper class to gather and relax.
The tourists came from Philadelphia, primarily from the Germantown area that was a rather well-to-do area, and the people came also from Wilmington, which was also a rather well-to-do area. This was a beautiful inn, very exclusive, I understand, and expensive at the time. People came and walked the beautiful woods and enjoyed the landmarks of the area. Later on, I would say that this was known for its beauty.
This inn is not only famous for its surroundings, but for its supernatural activity. This inn doesn't just have one ghost, but is known for being inhabited by three: a strolling woman, a crying baby, and Herbie, the gentle old man. These ghosts let people know that they are there by slamming doors, turning lights on and off, and occasionally allowing people to see them. The strolling woman has been known to suddenly appear on the deck overlooking the falls and staring at people through windows. She is said to have committed suicide in one of the upstairs rooms at the inn. The crying baby has been heard all throughout the inn by many different people. No one has ever seen it, but many people have heard its mysterious cries. The gentle old man who is known to haunt the inn is named Herbie. During his life, he was a baker who worked in the village. His real name was Herb Hinkle. Herbie is known to haunt the inn because while he was alive, he lived at the inn and often gave children cookies. He was known by everyone as a nice man. Most people who claim to have seen the ghosts have seen them not only in the Black Granite Inn, but also in the surrounding towns as well. The area would not be the same without its supernatural friends. The inn stayed in the Nauer family until the 1960s. After Davis's death, his son, David J., took over the family business until his untimely accidental death. From there, Davis's grandchildren took over and restored the inn. After the restoration, the family decided to sell the inn to a bank. From there, the bank attempted to reestablish the already existing inn to a bar and restaurant. After this unsuccessful attempt, the bank decided to sell the inn to a small group of men led by Leonard Evans. Evans and his group turned the struggling inn into a general store, where they sold everything from tools to cakes. As you can see, this inn has been a handful of different things, but thanks to Stephen Nizio, it is now a successful bar and restaurant
named the Black Granite Inn. The interior of the inn is just as beautiful as the exterior. As you enter, you see the grand staircase. The inn has a bar and dining room with a large painting of the French Creek Falls. In addition to that room, there are 3 more dining rooms, each with their own chandelier, and each are decorated to recreate that old inn feeling, complete with paintings from that time period. The basement of the inn was converted to a bar as well. People can watch sporting events and play pool. The inn is not only a restaurant, it has a few apartment units on the 2nd floor.
So over the years, many people owners have come and gone, but it remains a restaurant. My hope is that someday someone will certainly come along who can do justice to St. Peter's Village, especially to the inn. And as I look around today here, it is beautiful. These 2 rooms are beautiful. And I hope to come down and have dinner here over the holidays.
Wooden Waves, Sound Waves, and Pinnacle Skate Shop began 2 years ago, but with a rough start. Frank Fields and Troy wanted to fuse music with skateboarding. After talking to Frank's wife, they came up with the idea of a skate park combined with a concert hall. After searching high and low for a building, they found one in Muhlenberg Township in Berks County. Frank Fields, also known as Frank Phobia, signed the lease on March 30th, 2002. After multiple major constructions, they finally opened under the name Wooden Waves on May 11, 2002. The skate park inside was built and designed by Tim Glom, who is the owner of SkateRamp.com. When it was first opened, over 4,000 people joined. Wooden Waves could not expand their facilities due to surrounding floodplain.
Okay, my name is Frank Fields, and a lot of people in the music community know me as Frank Phobia from my band Anthrophobia. Our original plan of this building and this location was to expand and have a BMX park outside, maybe some concrete skate stuff, and paintball. And no one in the township, the landlord, or the real estate company told us that the surrounding area is all floodplain, and no one told us that the building had a flood history. We found out that there's construction on a mountain behind the building, and a spillway was not properly installed to divert the water off the mountain.
Soundwaves, the skate park's club, was opened in August of 2002. The first band to play at Soundwaves included 3 members of the Descendants. A few months later, after the opening of Soundwaves, 2 major floods occurred. The first flood was 16 inches. After cleanup of the first, another occurred. After more cleanup, they finally reopened for good. These 2 floods set them back over a year. After restoration, they decided to open a skate shop in spring. They named it Pinnacle.
My name's Troy. I work with Frank at Soundwaves, Wooden Waves, DRP Records. Frank is my partner with Cadence, a clothing and merchandising company that we run out of this very building as well. I work here at the skate shop, Pinnacle Skate Shop. I put together skateboards and hang out with skaters.
DRP Records is jointly owned by Frank and Troy. For convenience, their offices are located in the same building. With the many demos they received, they put some of the songs on compilations. After the risk of losing life savings, Soundwaves, Wooden Waves, and DRP Records is now thriving with business. To find out more information, please visit their website at www.woodenwaves.net.
Built in 1956, Royersford Elementary's evolution through its renovations, technological advances, and faculty members and students lends credence to the statement that Royersford Elementary has indeed come a long way. The facilities inside the school immediately give a clean and professional atmosphere, although the school is designed for elementary students. The music room's design is conducive to a fun and energetic environment for creativity. And the cafeteria and gym area is perfect for the bustle and play of the students there. The expansive area of the cafeteria and gym allow the students much freedom of thought and play. Although small in appearance, when seen from the inside, the facilities of the school can be seen as a place the students can both relax and learn. A constant advocate to the advancement of the school and its education is none other than Mr. David Willow.
The building that we're presently in was completely renovated. It was actually called the Fifth Avenue Building. It was built in 1956, and it was completely renovated during the 1992-93 school year. The staff worked with the architect about 20 months before ground was broken, and planned each and every area of the building. The art teacher, for example, planned the art room, the librarian, the media center, and so on, and the classroom teachers planned a prototype classroom as well. Ground was broken in June of 1992. We had quite a celebration to do that because it was really closing the building for a year. Approximately 2/3 of the building was demolished. This building only had originally 8 classrooms. 2 of those classrooms were demolished. 6 remain, and there are kindergarten and first grade classrooms. We moved into this building. At first, we were able to take possession of the building just a few classes at a time, and our 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders moved in the fall of 1993. And then the rest of the children moved in. We had an official ribbon cutting in January of 1994, and everyone was able to move in at that point. During renovation, during the construction process, there was a lot of digging, of course, that had to take place. And what we discovered was that, true to what some stories had been told, this school was built on a dump. This area of Royersford was the town dump during the 1920s and about that time. And the main thing that was dumped here were coal ashes because everyone had coal furnaces in their homes. Well, along with the coal ashes came bottles and cans that people were throwing out. And during the time that we were excavating and doing the renovation process, countless bottles were found, and there are a number of them that we have on display.
Some of the things I remember about Royersford when it was 2 separate buildings was having our students walk across the playground in all kinds of weather. We came over to the building that was here at 5th Avenue for lunch and for gym. So we walked over in the snow and the rain and whatever was going on outside, we had to come over. Now we're in one building, rather large building. We still try to keep it as personal as we can between the grade levels and the interaction with teachers and parents, and we hope we're succeeding at that.
The physical appearance of the school has not changed since its opening in 1993. However, the way the children learn and interact with each other and the schools has very much evolved.
Changes that have happened at our school, it is bigger. We have more of each grade level. When I first taught here, we had 2 of each grade level. Now we have sometimes 4, sometimes 5, depending on the number of students. We have bus students now that we never did before. All our students were walkers.
The school not only encompasses creativity and play, but other facilities in the school stresses work as well. The computer room showcases the technological advances that the school has gone through, as well as the cleanliness and efficiency of the school.
As far as the future is concerned, I think one of our major challenges is to keep up with the technology that we currently have in the school district and then build upon those past successes. I'm told that this school was the first one in Pennsylvania to be, first elementary school to be built with a fiber optic backbone that distributes the computer network out into the building. So I think that there'll be increased opportunities for us to employ technology. I also think that there'll be more opportunities for us to become more involved in the community. The schools in the public school system are one of the last institutions that everybody goes through, and they really become a hub as far as the community is concerned. So I believe that we'll become more involved in the area of preschool education, as well as even for community members, citizens who are who've even graduated from school. There'll be other programs, and we'll serve as a location, as a hub for that kind of thing as well.
Pennsylvania, is locally infamous for its white stucco-covered stone walls and prominent red and white gates. What was once a fully functional farm with technologically advanced barn and silos, built in 1875 by William Singerly, has been developed into a state-of-the-art conference center, banquet hall, and restaurant. William Singerly, a successful businessman from Philadelphia, became the 3rd owner when he bought the property in 1873, intending to use it as a country retreat. 2 years later, in 1875, Mr. Singerly built the immense barn which remains one of the largest on the East Coast. When William Singerly passed away in 1898, the farm's future remained uncertain.
Property passed hands a couple of times when it was eventually purchased by Ralph Beaver Strasburger, who married Mary Bourne, who's the daughter of Commodore Bourne, who at the time was the president of the Singer Sewing Machine Company. It is believed that their wedding present of $4 million went to purchase Normandy Farm, as well as 2 area newspapers. Now, Mr. Strasburger owned properties in France, and what he did was he added the red and white accents to the barn, and he named the property Normandy Farm after where he honeymooned, in Normandy, France.
Mr. Strasburger also built the 3 silos used to store feed for his thoroughbred horses and Ayrshire cattle, and the white stucco walls which border the property today. Although Ralph Strasburger died in 1959, Normandy Farm remained in his family. In 1993, the property was sold to the Vistera Corporation, who parceled off the land to local developers. Finally, in 2000, the property was purchased by an affiliate of Hanson Properties, Inc., and what once was used as stables to house cattle opened in 2003 as Coleman Restaurant. The essence behind Coleman Restaurant is to reflect Normandy Farm's rich Pennsylvania culture and complement its atmosphere, offering home and country comfort food prepared with gourmet flair and style.
What we do Pennsylvania Dutch food with a twist, though. We take local ingredients, organics foods, very fresh ingredients, I might add, and we modernize it to suit the palate of people now. We have a soup that's very it's called a chicken and corn soup, and what they do, they use popcorn actually in the soup. And then, because when they were farmers, they try to use everything that they had.
In addition to Coleman Restaurant, Normandy Farm features 2 magnificent ballrooms. The Normandy Ballroom, Normandy Farm's largest banquet hall, was originally the T section of the old barn. The original columns, which provided 128 years of support to the barn, have been enhanced with thick, rich wood. Totaling 6,100 square feet, the Normandy Ballroom has a 30-foot high cathedral ceiling adorned with massive chandeliers, which contribute to the room's soft atmosphere. With accommodations for 400 guests, this room provides a full-access dance floor and is equipped with audiovisual equipment. A barn-length hallway leads from the Normandy Ballroom to the Silos Ballroom. The Silos Ballroom, located behind the Coleman Restaurant, features 3 renovated silos originally used to store grain for the cattle that it once housed. The ballroom is 3,000 square feet, accommodates 175 guests, and boasts 22-foot-high cathedral ceilings. The silos have been incorporated into the room, and the 3 separate alcoves are directly accessible off of the room's west wall. Chef Jim Coleman's TV show, Flavors of America, is also shot here. Each ballroom has its own private pre-function area that is tastefully decorated and offers direct access to its respective ballroom and private outdoor terrace. The pre-function areas are wonderful places for guests to enjoy cocktails and socialize before affairs such as weddings, bar and bat mitzvahs, conferences, and other special occasions. Normandy Farm has undergone much growth and development since the late 1800s and shows no sign of stopping.
Normandy Farm's tagline is "History Continues," and the reason why we chose that tagline is during the farm's heyday, it was one of the most technologically advanced farms in the country and still is one of the largest today. But the conference center, when it's built, will be one of the most technologically advanced conference centers in the area, if not the country, with its high-speed internet access and high-speed cabling run throughout the building, all of the connections, the power, the internet access, the cable access, and all of the rooms throughout the facility.
This is the key that we use for the front door and some of the bedrooms upstairs. Whenever my husband and I are out antiquing, we will look around. Usually you can find old-fashioned keys. We keep one with us so we can try to match it. It's always a good idea to have a few extras. But it's kind of interesting that we lock our house with a key like this. This was probably used from the early 1900s. This past fall, my family and I decided to put an in-ground pool in the backyard. My husband and I were concerned of what we would find under the ground in the spot that we had chosen. There really is no way of finding out what's under there. I did contact the Historical Society and any other organization that I could think of to try to get either blueprints or information about the original structure of the house. Nothing was kept that far back, so we decided to just start digging. On the day of the dig, we were almost done digging the pool when we did run across a very large concrete cover. It was taken off, and lo and behold, there was an old septic system. It was a very large silo-like tunnel that probably went down about 30 feet. We didn't stop digging, filled it with stone, and kept on going. Stay. We really love living in our old country home. We love the uniqueness, the old charm, the character, and plan on spending many years here to come. This is Major. He'll be staying with us.
Jason Peterson.